Erika Kirk's Texas conference is getting way more attention than she expected. Erika Kirk has sparked backlash for this new change to her summit and its announcement. There is this one detail about Erika Kirk's event that changes everything. And it's got even her supporters saying, okay, we get it. Maybe she did cross a major line here. So what exactly is being taught at Erika Kirk Summit and to who? And this is what has everyone talking. Because you ever just look at a political movement and think, wow, they really just stopped trying to hide it. And if you've been paying attention to the conservative influencer pipeline, you probably think you know how this works. There's a lot of courses being taught online. There's a lot of grievances around the less than 1% of the population who wants to play t-ball. And then, of course, there's the occasional crying in a Range Rover video, right? Perfect timing for the paparazzi. But if you think that's all there is to it, you are missing the real plot. There is a detail inside an upcoming event in Texas sitting right there. It's publicly accessible. It's already live. You can see it for yourself. And that detail changes everything about how this organization is actually building. And I'm going to show you why and how this Turning Point USA grift is so much more than hypocritical. Erika Kirk is calculated, and she is targeting a specific group of people before they're old enough to recognize what's being done to them. So what you know or what you were told about this summit is only half of the story. And real quick, I'm Loren Piretra. Willa Piretra is snoozing right behind me. And we're going to ask you to subscribe. Subscribe right now, or you may risk 10 years of Stephen Miller nesting in your crawl space. Or it's Stephen Miller season, I've been told. So he could be emerging from your drain like a fruit fly over one dying banana, and then suddenly there's a million of them. So this subscribing, it also actually helps protect your favorite local small business from becoming a Turning Point USA faith center and a male-only podcast studio. The choice is yours. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating, comment, save, share, hype on YouTube. All of these actions help create protection for you. The choice is yours. So Erika Kirk, since taking over as Miss CEO of Turning Point USA, she has made herself the face of the 2026 Women's Leadership Summit in Texas. The website is dripping in like pseudo feminism, so empowering language that's about wellness, and attendees will step boldly into their purpose. They'll anchor their spirit. It looks like an overpriced yoga retreat for people who are frightened of cities, which of course is an interesting choice. But what if you look at who is actually getting handed a microphone here? The word leadership is doing a significant amount of uncompensated labor. We have Ali Beth Stuckey, who's there to explain how feminism, which is, if you don't actually know what feminism means, it means equality of women in all genders. She is trying to explain how feminism ruined your life because we don't want equality. We want to be treated like less than. Alex Clark is pushing alternative health claims that the mainstream medical community has specifically rejected. She's fighting Red 40 and 50 and all the things. And the entire lineup is a highly funded echo chamber telling women that wanting a career is the failure of their gender. And this is not abstract ideology for the women sitting in that audience. The states with the highest rates of domestic violence in the country are overwhelmingly red states. We got Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, Kentucky, straight Bible Belt. The same states with the weakest workplace protections for women and the lowest rates of female economic independence. So women in these states are statistically more likely to be financially dependent on a partner, more likely to live someplace where gutting no-fault divorce, which Ali Beth Stuckey has publicly criticized as too easy for women to access. When you remove a woman's ability to leave cleanly, you remove her exit. The poverty rate for single women in red states sits significantly above the national average. And the women most likely to end up single through divorce, abandonment, widowhood are the ones who were told their whole lives that a career, wrong priority, kitchen. Okay? So when Erika Kirk tells a room full of Texas women to submit to a man and anchor their entire identity in a husband, that instruction is being delivered inside one of the states where the following, it carries the most documented, statistically verified risk of ending up broke, trapped, or in danger. None of those choices sound exciting to me. And that alone would be weird, but it gets so much weirder. And when I first started this podcast, I remember sitting there and thinking, like, what if no one listens? Seriously, you put so much time and energy into building something, and there's always that little voice in your head wondering, like, is this actually going to work out? But taking that leap ended up being one of the best decisions I ever made. And if you're starting a business or launching something new online, having the right tools behind you makes a huge difference. That's why Shopify is such a game changer. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US. That's huge. So from huge brands to brand new entrepreneurs just getting started, they give you hundreds of customizable templates so your online store actually looks clean and professional. And Shopify handles everything in one place. We're talking about inventory, payments, analytics, shipping, returns, all of it. Plus, if you ever get stuck, their award-winning 24/7 customer support is always there to help. It's time to turn those what ifs into Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/Loren. That's Loren. So go to shopify.com/Loren, Loren. One more time, and I will put it in the description, shopify.com/Loren. Cha-ching. Okay. So at this point, I thought I understood what this was. This is a networking event for Republicans, for women who don't think women should vote. Gen Z influencer aesthetic, usual talking points. They hate trans people, all of the things. I did not understand what this actually was, because if you look at who they decided to let into the room, Turning Point USA has historically aimed these events at voting age college students. Their branding is supposed to be aspirational to them, designed to look like something a young woman would want to be a part of before she's read any of the fine print or seen any of the clips. But keep that in mind, because the organization doesn't stop at college students this time. They barely stop at high school. They change the parameters of who gets access. And this is where things start connecting. The research on adolescent identity formation is not ambiguous. So ages 12 to 15, this is the exact window when girls are most susceptible to internalizing external frameworks about who they're supposed to be. Beliefs absorbed during this period don't usually register as political positions because they're not able to vote yet. They register as, these are the truths about my own true nature. So they become load-bearing parts of these young girls' identity. They're not opinions you hold, but these are facts about yourself. An ideology delivered at this age doesn't need to be maintained from the outside. It self-enforces from the inside, which raises a pretty obvious question about why would you specifically want that age group in the room with Erika Kirk and Riley Gaines? So if you scroll past the VIP packages on their registration page, there is a specific ticket tier sitting right there, available through June 7th, non-refundable. And this is for 15 and under, for attendees age 13 to 15. Full access to all the general programming, breakouts, media row, and sponsor hall. Look at most of Turning Point USA's sponsors. Kirkcella, the event that I went to, NRA. There's a lot. I was offered more Bibles than I wouldn't even know what to do with. Hold that. And below that, 15 and under, there is a specific tier for under 13. 2 age bracketed categories, deliberately separated, deliberately priced, already live. They are not begrudgingly letting moms bring kids because they couldn't find a babysitter. They built a dedicated pricing structure specifically to get girls as young as 12 into the room with Erika Kirk. The same room where the speakers are on record saying feminism is spiritually dangerous. You do not want rights, girls. You do not want to vote. You do not want a career. You want to submit to a man in your states that are statistically most likely to harm you and leave you broke and abandoned. So where the CEO publicly promotes this wifely submission is, this is what Erika Kirk and all of these girls are saying is the correct and godly way to live, where the entire premise is that a woman's ambitions are problems to be corrected. They want to sit 8th graders down and 7th graders and tell them that their calling has already been decided for them before those girls have even taken the PSATs, before they have enough lived experience to recognize the gap between the packaging and what's inside. This is so dangerous. And this is the model. This has always been their model. You do not build the largest youth conservative organization in America by waiting for people to become adults. You find them before the critical thinking is load bearing. You put them in a room that feels like belonging and that looks like confidence and sounds like faith. You tell a 12-year-old girl that the most powerful thing she will ever do is submit, that her calling is not hers to define. This is sick. Relationship power imbalances, that's what they're selling, specifically where one partner holds the financial and decision-making authority. And that's the most consistent predictors of intimate partner in this research literature, by the way. You can find it anywhere. The framework being promoted at this summit maps almost exactly into the dynamic researchers have identified as a risk factor. This is the foundation for how DV researchers understand coercive control. And they're delivering it to children with a dedicated ticket tier and a non-refundable policy. If your ideology requires bypassing adults entirely and selling entry to 8th graders just to keep your dead movement alive, your ideology is the problem. And they know it, which is exactly why they're starting them so young. And like, here's what I keep coming back to. Erika Kirk and Trump are like this. Erika Kirk is out here building a recruitment infrastructure for children, running the largest conservative youth organization in the country, and doing it all under the banner of women's leadership, while her entire public brand is telling women, hey, stop leading anything. Get back in the kitchen, take your shoes off, become a vessel for birthing, and we know what happens next. So it raises an obvious question about who exactly is backing this operation at the highest level. Betting markets have some data on that. Right now, Polymarket bettors are placing the odds on Trump publicly praising Erika Kirk before the end of May at 30%, 107 in volume. For context, that puts her at the same odds as Jesus getting a public Trump shout out, which is either really funny or revealing, depending on your mood and likely your state. So 70% of people looked at that relationship and said, yeah, she's not getting the call. Jesus, it's going to Jesus this time. And that is worth sitting with for a second, because if Trump isn't publicly claiming his girl, maybe JD Vance is, but she's still out here building this infrastructure, recruiting children in the Bible Belt and running a summit with strobe lights and pyrotechnics and a non-refundable under 13 ticket tier. She doesn't need them. This operation runs without praise through May 30th or end of month. It was always going to. So that might actually be the most unsettling part of this whole story. And if you made it this far, make sure you're subscribed, turn those notifications on, leave us a comment, find us wherever you get your podcast. We've since dropped from the top 30 on Spotify, and we've got to get back because there's too much hoopla and riffraff going on there, and we got to cut that out. So we'll see you at the next one.